Today we're going to look at a classical wetlands buck bed situation, what it looks like, kind of how to find them, and possible approaches as to how to hunt it. So come along with me to the swamps. Let's go find a buck bed.
Here we got a nice little point, end of the woods, heavy trail coming in here. And I'm looking out off to my right. I know it's private land, but we got a lot of brush out here, and I see there's a little island right there of popple trees and a little island here of popple trees. They both are very exciting to me. I got to get out there and take a look at them. Both of those could be really good bedding spots. These deer can back off the swamp here, through the swamp, and bed down in there, and people just don't walk in there. This is all rubbed up here. All this all twisted up. And I've seen a lot of big bucks rip up that small stuff like that, so I can't determine. I can see it's higher up on the brush. But usually when they have to wrap their tines around that, wrap it in their horns and then rip side to side to break it like that, that's usually a pretty strong animal that does that. I think I'm going to find some really good bedding out here. I really do. I see up ahead, I see on this private land, I see a ladder stand. Looks like a two-man ladder stand leaned up over there. And all that stuff is good to know. You're never going to stay away from this. Back over there was one. Back over here there's one, and they can shoot out into here, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't believe that a deer would get through here without getting shot. It would be hard to shoot a deer out here from that stands. There's so much brush in the way. I mean, right now I'm looking back, I can't even see either one of them. So they better be pretty good marksmen if they're going to get a deer out here. And it's a long shot too. I've never been one to be a marksman from a really long distance. And I don't think that's an Onyx issue. I think that's my old cell phone issue. I know my memory's pretty used up in my phone. I did some switching around with some things the other day to try to alleviate that situation. Hunting is changing, and part of that change is technology, and I'm not one to be a real technology crazy person, but I do see where it can be very useful. Here we go, right here. See, this is the spot right here. This is it. Them deer could come in through here maybe. Hard to get squared away. They could come in through here, but I'm gonna guess most big bucks, most decent bucks, like to come in from the outside instead of walking through this thick stuff. And as I look here, I see there's a trail coming in from here, and there's a bed there, and there's a bed here, and this is way wore down, and he's been in here. There's hair in there right now. But here, this is where I would assume that he'd come in most often, because it's easy access. they like to circle in and just lay down. Now I gotta mark this. This is one of those beds that you hunt. You set up and hunt this bed. See, I'm gonna kind of step out here and show you how I think this is all gonna work. This deer is gonna come out like this, and then he's gonna see there's a really nice rub here too. There's a good buck using this bed. This might be the nicest bed I found so far this whole season. Look at that. Boy, he really worked that up. Right before he... So here's what I'm thinking. That's the hardwoods over there. There's hardwoods over there too, so he could go either way. But let's say he comes from that way there. He'll come in, he'll walk around, circle around. He'll probably rub this up a little bit if he chooses to do so. Then he'll walk right over here. And he'll turn and he'll go right there into his bed. Right there. That's where he'll lay. See how easy it is for him to just take a few steps into here and he's home. He doesn't have to fight his way through the brush and everything. And there's been a deer laying here. That doesn't mean it's a really big buck or anything, but this bed is being used. So this is one that has to be hunted. This has to go on the list of I gotta hunt this at some point. And I guess if I had to hunt anywhere, unfortunately a guy had some mineral laying back over there, but that's the direction. Take the wind into account and set up, and I don't think there's an option any closer. But I'm going to walk back and check this out a little bit because it's worth it. See, there's a nice trail coming through here too, and it's linking right to that next island, which links to another island further down. And I'm going to run this all the way through because I wouldn't be surprised to find other beds either. But you notice, again, I always talk about these through islands. This island is not what I would consider a through island. You see, there was a trail that came in that I walked in and it led into there, but it really doesn't pass through. Actually, the main run is on the outside here that comes right through and goes right on through, you see. So now this deer, this little bitty patch of woods, that's where he lays down. Other deer pass by, they're not going to bother him. They're actually coming pretty close to him. That's usually a lot tighter than they like it to be, but it's the perfect setup. And looking back, the only tree available is this little popple back over here, and that's too close. I just think that would be ridiculously close to try to get in here on this guy. Yeah, see, he's got this all rubbed up here at one time too. And by the looks of these rubs, it looks like a pretty decent buck. That's a risky setup. And I don't think there's any other there's hair here in the water. Yeah, he's gonna come just like this here. And he comes out of that bed and he's probably gonna stay right on that trail right there and then leads right out to that point. Could a guy come in all the way here and jump in this popple tree. There's a pretty main run coming here too. He might even come down that run. I don't know. Yeah, and I think this tree would be way too risky, way too close. Option B, is there a ground opportunity? You got to remember now, this time of year everything's knocked down. In the fall of the year everything will be growing and high. I guess if I would back up here far enough to do something on the ground, I'm getting to the point where I might just as well just go right back to the main woods. Because if he's going to get this close to where I could sit in here somewhere, he should make it the rest of the way before dark. It's worth a sit, that's for sure. So I got to go back there and mark that bed. You know, and the thing of it is I know there's other guys hunting here, but what is their expertise level? Yeah, see, there's several trails that come in. What is their expertise level? Do they know how to set up like this? Do they know what it takes to take a deer like this? I doubt it. Matter of fact, more chance than not, instead of them setting up on him right and taking him, they're probably going to come in here a few days before season maybe and hang a stand, or maybe opening day come in and making noise over there. And the bottom line will be, he'll know that they're there and he won't make an appearance. But this is how he's going to come in, and I can see he's been coming in this way a lot. Still hasn't regenerated my trail. I hope it does. They're showing a really big run just off to my side over there. I gotta check that out. He's even been rubbing on the trees in here. There's some gouge marks from antlers in here. Yeah, there's hair in that bed. There's gouge marks here. I'm sure them are from antler tines. There's some rubs on his. Old rubs on there, historical rub. This thing is all beat up. This is one of the nicest beds I found. The nicest bed I found this season yet. Unbelievable. You know, now there's kind of a trail cutting out this way too, and he could go that way too and head up into them hardwoods over there. That's very possible. Yeah. So this is a nice little setup here. Sorry I bothered your little bedroom here. I probably might have bumped them out of here. Who knows? Now, according to my aerial photo, which again I like that onyx for that. Not only is there a nice run coming through here, but it sounded like there was one further out in the swamp there. So I'm going to walk out there and check it, just to see what that looks like. Oh yeah, here's that. Here's that trail that's showing up on there.
Hopefully this video gave you a little bit better idea how to locate and set up and hunt wetland bedding areas. Keep in mind that the bed in the example I showed in the video is just one bed that this buck uses. He has multiple beds, and he'll use those different beds under different weather conditions, hunting pressure, food source changes, and so forth. So that's just one little piece of the puzzle that you have to solve. I'm also considering getting trail cameras involved in this. I'm kind of new to trail cameras and I'm just kind of learning my way. But one thing I do know for certain is if I'm going to put trail cameras out, I have to leave them until after I hunt the spot, because if I go back in to retrieve those cameras, I'm just going to be leaving human scent in there and most likely ruining my chance to take a buck from that spot. So kind of keep that in mind. So good luck out in the woods, guys. Talk to you later.